You've seen it before. Ken rocks and drops a clip doing some workouts in his gym, and 2 days later, it's a trend. Everybody's out there copying it, probably with no idea why they're even doing it. Chase Sexton's out there with 25-minute long vlogs of training and riding, and he says maybe 5 words the whole video. I feel like I'm just picking on moto guys, but their sport requires an inhuman amount of fitness. I've looked everywhere for someone in motorsports to just explain it, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what it's actually building. Nobody does it, and I get it. It takes time to put those types of videos together. And the second you show your work, you're either getting judged for it or somebody's copying it and lining up to beat you with it. That's exactly why I'd want to keep mine quiet too. But I'm done waiting on somebody else to go first. The sport of snowmobiling has a chance to grow if those with the knowledge take the time to share it. So I'm wrapping up a test week of fitness. Every workout today is on camera, and I'm telling you exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing while I'm doing it. They're getting there. Well, that was a good choice of weight. I don't normally train like this, but I've been going hard since Monday. Today's Saturday. Thursday was a light day. I did one workout. Yesterday I had completely off because we did a lot of family stuff all day. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was doing 3 workouts a day. Today I have 4, which it kind of makes sense to kind of make Saturday the hardest day because that's usually race days for snowmobiling for me. But the idea is to just put a ton of stress on the body to try and replicate racing. That's the beauty of working out, is you can have a very controlled environment to put stress on the body and focus on technique of the movements that translates over into racing. Like, this isn't gonna make me a better rider, but it's gonna make me a safer one. I snowmobile, so there's no snow right now. This is the best way to prep for when there is snow on the ground. But what inspired me to do this was I was looking at the programming that the gym that I work out provides based off of CrossFit. And they have 4 alternate workout programs. Just an FYI, this is how it's gonna be for this video, just me out of breath talking to you. It's like a conditioning, a bodybuilding strength one, which is what I'm in right now, Olympic lifting one, and a gymnastics one. Each has 3 workouts per week. We reached out to the organization and was like, how would professional athletes approach this? And this is me self-proclaiming as a professional athlete, but I'm training like one. And they're like, oh, it totally depends and this and that. And they just didn't answer the question. So I'm taking it upon myself to figure it out. You know, I have enough knowledge to be dangerous when it comes to training. I've got 10 years of racing and training under my belt of what works and what doesn't work. And I'll tell you right now, so far this week, it's been the best. Honestly, it's been an addicting amount of training at an effort that's totally manageable, that won't cause me to injure myself, but put enough stress on the body that I feel like I'm adapting and getting stronger. For example, these squat weights are at like 60% of my 1 rep max, which I don't have a massive 1 rep max, thank goodness. And it's like, you know, hard. It's the first lift of the day. Not enough that my technique's degrading. And I've tried doing like 2 days in the past, and I've always like hurt myself. And it's because I was just trying to go hard the whole time. And you can't do that. And I'm getting older. I can't train like a young, rubbery, pliable man I used to be. I would love to repeat this every week, over 12 training sessions. It feels totally manageable. I'm smart enough now with my fitness to know when injuries are coming, but also performing for my sport fitness. I have to do an abnormal amount of fitness. That's just how professional athletes do it. Now, normally I train 4 to 6 times per week, 4 to 6 days. I just do one CrossFit class, which is like an hour, maybe a total of 25 to 30 minutes of working time. It's totally manageable, and I can easily occupy other time in the day with work and family time. But this week, really wanted to test myself, and I had the time. I just had to set other things aside to be able to make time for this. Make sure my plank technique is good here. When I first started racing back in 2017, I came off of lacrosse fitness. I was a midfielder, I ran a lot, but I was also bigger because I just needed to be able to take stick checks and body checks and...
Go! You ready to roll? Oh, stay outside of it. Pull back. Good, Joe. Good, roll. Yeah! Go!
El Marbacon's goal by number 21, TJ Leach.
You know, we weren't out there running a marathon. We were minute and a half shifts. So when I got out, I was just doing my lacrosse workouts, and they were too strength oriented or powerlifting oriented. And I had a ton of body weight, which I struggled on a snowmobile with. And strength is important, but with snowmobiling, conditioning is just as important. And I feel CrossFit provides an excellent blend of both. And then one thing too that I really like about CrossFit is the skill aspect of it. So the Olympic lifting and gymnastics require a lot of body control and body awareness and focus on technique. And there's no different in riding a snowmobile. You want to be very focused on technique so you can be consistent lap to lap in every corner. You also want to be very aware of where your body is in space, and then the strength and conditioning aspect too. Like, snowmobiles aren't light, so you need to be able to wrestle one around. Being at the quote unquote pro level, we're doing longer races, so your body needs to be able to perform at its peak, you know, across an hour and a half. We don't have races here in the East or in Maine as similar out in the Core Power Sports series, where they're doing 500-mile weekends. I'd love to go and test my fitness in one of those style of races, but you know, back in the trail riding days, we used to put good miles on and be able to do some good endurance rides, but nothing compares to racing. Oh, a minute is a long time. Oh, it was better when I was talking. I was distracting myself. All right, maybe I'll talk about something. So I'm starting off today what's called Pump, which is a bodybuilding style workout. Next up, I think I have either all or gymnastics. I have to check my schedule. I have a burn workout, which is way more cardio, longer workouts. I burn a ton of calories in those. Oh. Well, 4 total workouts today. No CrossFit workout today, mainly because of just scheduling. I have these 2 workouts, and I'm gonna head home. My wife is gonna do a workout at 7, and then I'll come back afterwards, finish my 2 workouts. The plan is to go film some content in Wrench later today, hoping that can happen. But I seem to always run out of time every day. Should have brought some more shirts. This thing is nasty already. I didn't have any fans on. I have one on now, because they were just so loud with the mics. But workout 1 is done. I am planning on just not doing the cool downs, because especially for this first workout, because I'm doing kind of double headers here. So I'm gonna roll into the next one, which I still don't even know what it is. gymnastics. Okay, muscle ups, fun. Some handstand walks, more renegade rows. See, I'm glad I went light on those. Some more pulling, some more planks. I'm really glad I went light. It's just gonna be a little bit more volume on some pulling and core. And then I'm gonna actually do the cool down for this one because I'll be heading home to get some breakfast, hang out with the kiddo and let the wife work out. And if I'll probably do the cool down for the pump then as well. It's supposed to be 2 to 3 per minute, 10-minute EMOM. I'm just gonna do one. You might be wondering, what do ring muscle ups have to do with getting better at snowmobiling? I mean, they're freaking hard. I'm getting stronger doing them. Technique requirement is just, gives me so much more physical awareness, body awareness. It's because they are a strength and technique driven exercise, but also stupidly fun. It took me a while to be able to even do these, so I'm just gonna keep on doing them for as long as I can. Done. On the renegade rows for last time, because it's just this. And it's supposed to be a handstand walk, but I'm just gonna do a handstand hold. I can walk like 5 feet on my hands, and I'm not really gonna get much benefit out of just failing at handstand walking. I have really tight upper spine, neck area, so handstand holds will be really good at kind of helping strengthen and balance out my rounded poor posture. Being upside down again, body awareness. It seems really weird and unconventional, but at the same time, I've been doing it for years. It's just helped me feel and stay young and feel in good shape. Gonna go to the beep. Probably my ribs are flared. My upper back is so tight. I'm trying so hard not to let them flare. Oh. 4 more rounds of that. I also really like the shoulder stability. I had a shoulder injury on my left side years ago. Right now, especially with doing planks too, I can feel my shoulder stability is not the best. So we got a long summer, a long time to build up some good strength. If you're interested in the workouts that I've been doing, and I will be doing today, I'll have a PDF in the description that you can download. It contains all of the workouts that I did this week. So something free for you guys to use if you're curious exactly what I was doing. It's not really exactly. The programming has presets for weights and recommended movements, but I adjust as needed with what I'm able to do and how I'm feeling that day. Out of a scale of 10, 10 being I can't move because I'm so sore, so tired, or run down. 10 out of 10 effort in a workout where I'm like on the ground about to puke, absolutely redlining, max heart rate. I usually operate in a 5 or a 6 for these workouts across the board. If I were to go any higher than that, I don't think I'd be able to sustain gas out in like the first day or two if I were to go max effort. So far, the stress on the body has been very similar to how I am during the snowmobile season, which is really nice. What I've been liking so far is the variety of movement, the conditioning, surprisingly. I feel I can just sustain a really good pace for a really long time. So if it's a 30-minute nonstop workout, I can just cruise through it if I've chosen the right weights and the right movements and whatnot. And then I've been really liking the core. I feel as if I haven't been doing any static core exercises like planks, side planks, holds, a lot of what are called isometric movements. This programming has been including a lot of that. I've been really liking how it's making my hips and my back feel. So definitely something I would consider for any snowmobiler, even not a racer. If you're curious as to why I'm doing all of this, I've been racing snowmobiles for 10 years. I started out as a novice rider in 2017 with what I considered a solid baseline of fitness, but snowmobile racing, specifically cross country, requires a completely different type of physical fitness. You get a lot of it from riding, but you can gain a lot, especially in the off season, from training in the gym. I try to be as light as possible. We're trying to do top end speeds out on lakes, and so I don't want to be big and bulky. I try to maintain a good body weight. For me, I'll share it, it's like 175, which is when I was in college. So I graduated college in 2016. I graduated at 205 pounds, so I was coming off of like a Division III collegiate lacrosse physique. I definitely don't want to be carrying that weight around now. It would be rough on my joints. And then also you reduce horsepower. 7 pounds is 1 horsepower or something. So it doesn't make sense to be big. Bodybuilding exercises are great. I'm not trying to put on really any size. I'm just trying to be able to exert energy at a sustained pace, and then also when I'm done with a race, not be absolutely beaten up. So I'll make sure my back, my shoulders, my knees, my hips, everything is in good shape. I will admit, last season I was not in the best physical shape. I was so focused on working, like wrenching on sleds, focusing on my fitness instruction job, my marketing, all sorts of stuff. And I really set my fitness aside. I was maybe training twice a week, and I could feel my joints starting to hurt. I could feel myself getting out of breath just walking. I luckily had a change in my schedule that allowed me to start being consistent, trying to hit that 4 to 6 training sessions per week. And then on top of that, just actually going and doing it. That's the hardest part. End of April is when my season ends for snowmobile racing, specifically, and snowmobiling in general, because we run out of snow. I took the first 2 weeks of May fully off this year. My body was wrecked. My knees were killing me. It was really hard to start training, but that was the one thing I wanted back in my life, was consistent training. The mornings opened up, so I was able to consistently take the 5:30 a.m. CrossFit class. I was doing that 4 times a week. It was a struggle. Working out the post-snowmobile season is an absolute struggle. I feel like I can't move. I can barely lift weights, going through the motions with movement. But I know if I'm consistent, and consistency is key when it comes to fitness, that I stuck to my 4 to 6 training sessions per week, regardless of effort, intensity, weight lifted, my body would eventually come back to quote unquote normal, where I could ramp up my training, and I feel that timing is now. So from July all the way up until the first race in January, I am going to be hitting it hard. The biggest insight into how poor my fitness was this past season was the Pittsburgh, New Hampshire race. I trusted my baseline skill level, and I knew I had some inkling of fitness, but it was such a rough race for such a long time. I couldn't believe how quickly my body essentially failed me during that race, based on my historical experience with terrain races and being in shape. That was my biggest thing when I started racing in Rock Maple. It was all terrain races. We only had 1 actual lake race. I was beating up my body every other weekend, 6 to 8 races, the whole winter, beginning of January all the way to the end of March. And I went in with a really stiff setup, thinking that I had, some level of fitness, and it totally bit me in the butt. That race is on my mind quite a bit. During a lot of my training sessions, especially leg intensive sessions, I think about that Pittsburgh race. My legs got so tired, they cramped up, they locked up. I felt I couldn't push hard in sections where I needed to push hard. One of many examples of why I think training gives such a competitive advantage for racers over other racers. And then you combine that with a high level of skill, you have a very competitive snowmobile racing athlete. I got my snack in me, got my 2 training sessions done. I'm heading for my last 2 training sessions for the day. Cardio one is pretty gnarly. It's like 40-minute time cap, gnarly workout, ton of volume, but chipper style. So you go top to bottom, get all of one movement done, and then another, and then another. It's gonna be a doozy. But those are the ones that I've honestly been enjoying. It feels the most like I'm racing. Two-minute foam roll, I'll take it. Oh. Whoa. Well, this is my bad knee side. Whew. Knee. That one's hard. Those are hard. We got a lot of legs in the cardio workout later, so it does call for snatch, which means catching it in a squat. But I think in preserving my knee in my legs for that workout, I'm just gonna do a power. And if you don't know what that is, I'm about to show you in 1 second. That's better. I might start getting like further warmed up as we go along with this and may drop lower into a squat, but if my legs aren't feeling it, especially my right knee, then I'm not gonna push it. Now my left shoulder feels like not like bad, but just weird. I have an idea of the weight I want to build up to. I might hit it today, I might not. Oh, that was ugly. We're gonna go to power. I'm not risking it. So that right there was core disconnect. I didn't have enough breath and brace. My core wasn't active. I caught it and I was rounded in the bottom. It didn't hurt or feel weird. It was just off balance. There was a really cool moment at the end of the 2025 race season where a couple kids came up to me and they talked about how good my technique was riding on my sled. I was very thankful. Like, I worked really hard on my riding and my training, and they kind of asked or hinted at, like, you know, how I got to where I was with my riding technique. I'm not going to claim it's the best riding technique or perfect riding technique, but I pride myself on being a decent rider, and consistency is the name of the game for me. And I told them training was the best way to get good at riding technique. And that sounds kind of weird because, you know, riding is where you develop riding technique, but you get better at knowing what your body can do and control over your body to tell it what to do by training. Like, this is such a complex movement that the fact that I can even do it gives me the confidence to go and try and be very disciplined and consistent in my riding technique. And that's what I explained to them. And they're young. I told them, you need to get into the gym. Even though it's just the basics of bicep curls, bench press, squats, even using machines. Ideally, not using machines. They make you very tight and reduce mobility. But they have their place in fitness. For those who have restrictions in their movement, they're a great option. I'm not saying that they're the wrong option. I'm just saying there are better things that you can do in terms of increasing your ability to perform on a snowmobile. Thank CrossFit for helping me with that. All right, I'm actually gonna hit this solid this time. Need more aggressive feet. We'll get that on the next one. But it doesn't mean you have to go and learn how to do these movements to become a better snowmobiler. There are kettlebell swings, box jumps, jump rope. There are a lot of things that you can do that can really increase your dexterity, coordination, strength, conditioning that don't require years of training. Like, I've been doing this since 2016. Like, I've been doing these Olympic lifting movements. I can take advantage of that skill set to make me stronger and better on my snowmobile. Just some food for thought on that. Oh, much better. And I'll look back at footage of me riding and see me going through a corner, and the biggest thing I see for a real world example is my shoulder's always kind of hunched up when I'm turning, and it should be down. It should have a nice long neck, because over time in a race, like, I'm just exerting a ton of energy and stress through my neck, which you never know, you hit a bump just right, could tweak my neck, which has happened before. And when I go out testing, I'll make sure, especially if it's a training day where I'm just focusing purely on technique, a little bit of changes on the sled, I'll work on that. I'll keep my shoulder down and stay very focused on every corner and be very deliberate with my movement. And the fact that I can go and do that is because of this stuff. Add a little weight. I say a little, it's the last one. We'll do a big jump. I don't even know how much this is. 55, 65, 130, 165. That's pretty good. Let's see if I can do it. I did hit 2 weeks ago a 185 squat snatch for 2. PR. Like, I don't understand how I did it, but I felt really good that day. I did a really good warm up. But that's stuff that I could have never been able to do back in college when I was younger. So, like, this is kind of a cool thing that I'm still PRing as I get older. And also, it's July, so May, June, July. I'm 2.5 months out of snowmobile season, and I was able to hit those types of numbers. I was pretty stoked for myself on that, and it also reassured me that the decision I made of taking it really easy but consistent would pay off. All right, we're gonna roll right into the clean and jerk. Best. That was a clean and jerk. Like, that felt really good, actually. But I'm gonna just stick with the power to be consistent for today. I have a number I wanna get up to, 185. This was, I think, like 85 pounds. So I need to go up 100 pounds. This workout is a percentages workout, and I think I'm operating within or close to my percentages, honestly. I think 225 was the last thing I did. I don't even know if you guys are interested in this, but I'm doing it. All right, power clean. I just rewatched some of the footage of that clean and jerk I just did, and I was very arched in my back. My ribs were flaring, which could put some stress on my low back. I might reconsider going up to that heavy single at the end of this, depending on how this one goes. I gotta really fight to keep my ribs down in that overhead position. And if I can't, I'll probably just stay at this weight, just to be safe. All right, let's see how that looks. I don't like how much that's sticking out. I'm gonna stay at this weight, just to be safe. Putting a lot on my body this week. This could be the thing that, you know, tweaks my neck or something. Not worth it. I felt too forward. I'm kind of bummed about that. I think I just need to do a lot more upper back mobility. Like, can't really get my hands over my head that well. Probably for being hunched on the snowmobile half of the year. Hunched in my trailer working on stuff. Wider hands. This is just a regular squat over the pause. Let's keep it light. The dip jerk drive, I think this is more of like building skill in the Olympic lifts, which, yeah, I enjoy it. But I think what I'm going to do is take advantage of this time to try and build that overhead mobility. So I'll keep it light and then really fight to get into proper position. This one's boring. Let's skip ahead. This one's gonna be a doozy, so I'm gonna just throw on a time lapse, blast some angry Linkin Park, and have at it. Okay, that last one was a doozy. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you like this type of video, if you want me to do more of a deep dive on anything you want to know more about in terms of fitness and snowmobiling. I plan on doing another one of these test weeks closer to race season, so probably mid-December or beginning of January, one of those times. So stay tuned for that one. I'm excited to see how my fitness progresses over the summer. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. If you want to see more videos like this, check it out in the playlist here. And if you want to see my more recent video, check it out right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.